On February 18 at 9:42 p.m., the BAFTA audience cam catches Timothée Chalamet blinking 17 times in 12 seconds while Ariana Grande grips her clutch until her knuckles pale. The director cuts away early. That early cut is the first crack. On February 18 at 9:42 p.m., the BAFTA audience cam catches Timothée Chalamet blinking 17 times in 12 seconds while Ariana Grande grips her clutch until her knuckles pale. The director cuts away early. That early cut is the first crack. By 9:44 p.m., a whisper clip starts looping online. Margot Robbie leans in, smiles, and speaks without moving her lips much. Ryan Gosling's jaw tightens once, then resets like nothing happens. The moment looks tiny, until you watch it twice. At 9:51 p.m., the backstage hallway cam catches Barry Keoghan pacing a straight line like a metronome. 7 laps. Same distance. Same speed. That isn't nerves spilling out, it's control locking in. At 9:57 p.m., Florence Pugh touches her earpiece 3 times in 20 seconds right before her category comes up. She inhales, holds, then releases slowly. The timing screams that information hits her in real time. Stay close to the micro moments. Tonight isn't about what gets said on stage, it's about what leaks through faces before the applause starts. One blink, one breath, one jaw flex, and the whole room shifts without admitting it. At 10:02 p.m., the camera lands on Zendaya. Her mouth smiles, but her eyes don't soften. No crinkle, no lift, just a polished expression held like a mask. Someone beside her glances over and instantly looks away. At 10:05 p.m., Cillian Murphy sits upright with palms flat on his thighs, shoulders squared, barely moving for 38 seconds. That stillness isn't calm, it's readiness. His posture looks like a decision that's already made. At 10:08 p.m., Emma Stone laughs a beat too long. The room's joke ends, but her laughter keeps going for 3 extra seconds like it's covering something. Her cheeks lift, then drop fast, like a curtain falling. Stop and rewind. 10:11 p.m. Austin Butler's right hand grips his knee as the nominee list begins. Grip. Release. Grip again, twice in 8 seconds. The movement is small, but the repetition is loud. At 10:14 p.m., Cate Blanchett leans back when her name echoes in the hall. Not forward. Back. That lean isn't celebration, it's evaluation. Her eyes flick once toward the aisle, then settle like she's measuring the room. At 10:16 p.m., Harry Styles nods once, slow and controlled, without smiling. The crowd is loud, but his face stays quiet. The kind of nod that lands like understood, not excited. At 10:19 p.m., 2 publicists swap seats mid-broadcast with the smoothness of a practice drill. No wave. No explanation. That swap changes who whispers to whom for the next 40 minutes, and fans catch it frame by frame. Earlier on the red carpet at 7:58 p.m., Anya Taylor-Joy angles her body 15 degrees away from one photographer line while keeping eye contact dead steady. It's avoidance without retreat. The pose looks elegant, until you compare frames. Here's the detail that feels like a tell: 11 camera cuts in under 90 seconds during one nominee's reaction. That's double the usual rhythm. Live editors don't cut like that unless they're steering attention away from something. At 10:27 p.m., the winner stands, and before applause fully hits, a sharp exhale lands close to a mic. It's the sound of pressure releasing after months of pretending everything is fine. That breath becomes the night's quiet headline. At 10:31 p.m., the envelope opens, and the camera catches one micro eye roll, from the presenter, not the nominee. One frame. Less than half a second. The room keeps smiling, but that frame changes the story instantly. At 10:34 p.m., applause runs 26 seconds, but one table stops clapping at the 14-second mark in synchronized silence. Hands drop together. Faces reset together. The coordination feels like a message delivered without words. At 10:41 p.m., backstage photos circulate fast, 2 nominees hug with stiff arms and 0 torso contact. Smiles are wide, shoulders locked, and the embrace ends quickly like a checkbox. The rivalry stops being rumor and becomes posture. By 10:48 p.m., the night splits into 2 types of faces, the ones celebrating, and the ones calculating. Blink counts, breath holds, tight nods, stiff hugs, every tiny tell stacks into a second storyline nobody admits out loud. At 10:52 p.m., the control room flags the presenter's eye roll as camera error and quietly removes the replay from the highlight feed. A small fix. Harmless on paper. But the clip is already screen recorded everywhere. By 10:55 p.m., a stylist rushes to Ariana's table and adjusts her posture mid-conversation, whispering something sharp and fast. The correction looks subtle. The shift in her shoulders does not. Now people start noticing. At 10:57 p.m., one nominee checks their phone under the table, 3 times in 90 seconds. The glow lights up their face. Notifications keep stacking. The small panic becomes public momentum. The attempt to smooth things over backfires at 11:02 p.m. when a publicist leans across 2 seats to block a camera angle. It lasts 5 seconds. That 5 seconds becomes the clip everyone rewatches. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, a group chat labeled post-show damage activates at 6:03 p.m. Pacific. Screenshots flood in. The eye roll. The stiff hug. The early applause stop. The spiral moves off stage. At 11:07 p.m., Zendaya shifts in her seat and finally lets her eyes soften for half a second. That's the first genuine reaction of the night. It closes the mask smile loop and opens a bigger one. But the bigger problem lands at 11:09 p.m. A backstage mic accidentally stays live for 4 extra seconds after a segment ends. A single sentence slips through. 4 words. We knew at noon. That sentence detonates everything. If they knew at noon, then the reactions at 9:42 p.m. weren't surprise, they were performance. The blink. The grip. The lean back. Suddenly none of it is accidental. The cover-up accelerates at 11:14 p.m. when the official social account posts a cropped clip, no eye roll, no stiff hug, no early applause drop. The edits are clean. Too clean. And here's the number that changes the scale, 2.8 million views on the uncropped eye roll within 47 minutes. More than the winner's speech. The narrative flips in real time. At 11:18 p.m., the presenter's team issues a quiet clarification backstage, lighting glitch. The phrase spreads fast, but body language doesn't glitch. And fans already know that. Then the whisper surfaces, 2 nominees allegedly see the winner's name on a rehearsal sheet at 3:12 p.m. That sheet shouldn't exist. The rehearsal story just becomes the real story. The nominee who checked their phone earlier stands abruptly at 11:22 p.m. and exits before the after-party announcement. A small exit. But cameras catch it. And leaving early always means something. At 11:26 p.m., the stiff hug pair reappear for photos, this time with full torso contact, exaggerated smiles, hands gripping tight. The fix looks obvious. And obvious fixes rarely calm anything. Stop and look at the timeline. 3:12 p.m. rehearsal sheet. 9:42 p.m. blink storm. 10:31 p.m. eye roll. 11:14 p.m. cropped clip. That sequence isn't chaos, it's choreography. And that's when the realization hits like a drop in the stomach, this wasn't a reaction gone wrong. It was a performance cracking under pressure. By 11:33 p.m., 3 different camps begin blaming the camera crew privately. The blame spreads sideways instead of upward. That deflection tells you exactly where the pressure truly sits. Meanwhile, at 11:37 p.m., the winner's acceptance clip gets pinned to the top of every official feed. Comments are filtered. Replies slow down. The cleanup becomes visible. The nominee who exited early resurfaces at 11:42 p.m. at the after-party, smiling wider than before, posing beside the winner. The turnaround is fast. Too fast. By midnight, the night splits in 2 realities, the polished highlight reel and the viral freeze frames. One is controlled. One is chaotic. And whichever version people believe will decide who pays for this. 12:03 a.m. The after-party lights dim. A phone vibrates in the presenter's hand. One notification. Then another. The screen reflects in their eyes. Their thumb hovers. It doesn't tap. Not yet. The thumb finally moves. The uncropped eye roll plays back in full brightness. No glitch. No lighting excuse. Just the frame. The jaw tightens again, this time off stage. The presenter reads the caption under it. We knew at noon. 4 words. Same as the hot mic. Their hand freezes mid-scroll. The room keeps laughing around them. They zoom in on the timestamp, 3:12 p.m. rehearsal sheet. The same time circulating online. The earlier denial collapses in silence. A slow inhale. A slower exhale. And then the final notification lands. The group chat titled Damage Control goes quiet. No typing bubbles. No replies. Just read receipts. The isolation hits all at once. 14 million views in 36 hours. At 9:42 a.m., the uncropped clip trends in 22 countries. The first viral post isn't commentary, it's a side-by-side comparison. Blink. Eye roll. Rehearsal sheet. The internet builds the case in real time. By noon, headlines shift tone from awkward moment to pre-decided outcome. The language hardens. Words like staged and scripted appear. The narrative is no longer contained. And as of 6 p.m. the next day, the presenter hasn't posted. The winner hasn't clarified. The nominee who left early says nothing. The silence grows louder than the applause ever was, and 2 questions still hang in the air.